Hi everybody, welcome back for another video. Oops, I might have gotten in camera. So you see my little Chic Sparrow that I've had since 2015. It is a Black Beauty. If you see this, you know it is a no spend, low spend video. It is the end of the month where I do all of my review for what has happened the previous month. And for this video, I thought I'd share a few of the things that I have here. So let's go into this month. So here we are in the month of October. You can see I only bought things on 3 days this month, and they were all in the first week of the month. And then that's telling of something. So let's just go in order of what I bought that month, or this month, this last month. Whenever you're viewing this, that will tell you that. I'll get my pen out of the way. So this I did an unboxing of, so you might have seen it. This is a Foxy Fix notebook. It is a notebook that I originally bought in the early stages of 2016, and then I sold it to a friend because I was de-stashing some of my collection, and it was one of those notebooks that I was kind of sad to see leave my collection. And then when I saw that person post that it was that they were going to be destashing it, I jumped right on it. So it is a Foxy Fix in the Rowena leather. It's the 2016 version of that, the original Rowena, and it has the very unique pockets, and it has 4 elastics. I know I normally don't use a notebook with 4 elastics, but I like it because this one I'm housing some inserts that I've made for my watercolor journey, where I've swatched my watercolors and did some experiments and wrote things about them, did some blending studies. I've got another insert, which I haven't done much with. I got like a journal where I just random, whatever happens. There's no rhyme or reason to it. That's that stamp. I want that. Anyways, but that's cute. I'll even put a candy wrapper in my journal. That's another wrapper. Anyways, so I rebought this from my friend who had bought it from me, and I'm very glad that I have it back. So I bought this, and I basically paid for it what I sold it to her for plus shipping. So it was $58, which when you think about it, for a standard size traveler's notebook in a leather like this with the card pockets, the secretarial pocket, and the pen loop, which this pen will fit in here very easily. $58 is a steal. If you were to buy something brand new like this on Chic Sparrow, it would be like, you know, over $100. You know, and that's what that is. So I bought that for $58. Then I wanted to get a pocket fountain pen. I know I have a pocket fountain pen and I don't need a pocket fountain pen, but I had seen everybody getting the little Kawecos. I have a Kaweco pencil that's this size, or a lead holder, and I even have a ballpoint pen, but I wanted to get a little fountain pen, and I had some money on a gift card left over from Amazon. And so I think this is normally like a $20 or $30 pen. They had it on Amazon for $17, and I had $13.85 on a gift card, so I paid all of $4.53 for the pen. I had the clip myself. I had it on another pen, so I didn't have to purchase one of those clips. So $4.53 I felt was a really good deal for a Kaweco. I guess a month and a half or so ago, I bought the neutral set of the Rytec, and I've got other things in here, of the Rytec markers. It has, you know, the brush pens, the dual tip markers, it has highlighters, it has a fine liner, and a couple of other pens in it, like there's the fine liner. And it has a couple of like those like antique vintage colors. So I really liked the writing utensils in here, and they have other sets. They have a, I think it's orange and red, they have a blue and purple, and they have a yellow and green. So I went out and bought those to fulfill my set. And you know, it's kind of, I have, and I've talked about it, completion syndrome, where I want to have the complete set of something. But the thing is, I've actually been using these this entire month since I got them. And I placed that order for them on the 3rd of this month, the 3rd of October, and it was $38.26 for those. So they were like $12, $13 or so a piece because of, they were. And the last thing I bought this month was this Derwent pencil tin. I haven't done anything with it yet because I'm trying to decide how I want to use it. Do I want to use it for pencils, which I can, you know, use it for when I take my pencils on the go, so that way they don't get crushed. But I've also been thinking of maybe using it for my watercolors. Most of those watercolor tins that hold 48 are really, really, really big. They're long and they're wide. And since this has 2 trays, you know, I was thinking I could put 2 sets of 12 on one, 2 sets of 12 on another, and then there'd be room for some of my other colors that I like, or put them all on the top, and in the bottom put like, you know, some travel brushes and stuff. So that way I can make a kit. And I haven't decided how I'm gonna use it, and I haven't traveled anywhere yet. So, but I'm thinking it might be good for watercolors. All you'd have to do is put little magnets on the bottom of your watercolor palettes and stick them in. And I'm thinking that would be kind of nice to have the top layer, since it's a little bit narrower, be the one for the watercolor, and then the bottom to be the one for like the water brushes and a sponge and maybe some a cloth to dab off your brush, just, you know, something like that. And so this on Amazon, you can see Amazon was my friend this month. I'll get that out of the way so the glare came to $14.54. So when you add all of those up, the 58, the 453, the 38.26, and the 14.57, you get $115.33. Now, if you look at it, the TN doesn't fit my categories for, you know, $25 or less, blah, 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 blah. It was something that I saw that I had been missing, and I had spoken with the person over a matter of a couple of months, and I still wanted it, so I got it, and I'm using it now to hold something that I do not daily, but quite regularly. And all of the other items fall under that $25 or less, because each of these is less than $25. So they were purchased, but I also saw what the total was coming to after I had placed the order for that tin. So I decided, okay, let's just, after that, do a no spend. And so there we are. That's what we did. I'm really fine with how much I spent. I'm fine with the, you know, what I spent it on. I find it kind of interesting that I'm doing my no spend, low spend at a time when you know, just this past weekend, which I didn't even know about until this morning, that there was some stuff going down in the planner community regarding, planner and journal community regarding consumerism, materialism. I've spoken about this topic for years. I've been doing my no spend, low spends, and I've never been trying to tell people that they should do what I'm doing, or that you know, what I do is the only way to do things. What I do is what is good for me. One of the reasons why I started my no spend, low spend is I knew, and this is way before this, way before 2019. I knew I was spending a lot of money. I think I started in 2018, and this is the new version. So this is 2019, 2020, very little of 2021, and I started 2022. So I know that there was a lot of money that I was spending on things that, oh, how do you say? Let me write November. I guess spending tracker. We'll just write spending because you know, I know that there was a lot of money that I was spending, and I wanted to see where it was going. And I got to see very quickly and clearly where my money was going. And it also made me want to think, is that where I want to spend my money? Do I want to be having my money go to that one company? Do I want to be supporting them? Do I want to support some of the smaller businesses? I do buy stickers from, and items from, you know, smaller Etsy shops, and from what my friends are doing. And you know, I just wanted to be a little bit more mindful of what I was doing. And yeah, just to be a little bit more mindful, because there were months where, you know, I have to say I'm lucky that I do have disposable income to spend $311 in July on, you know, Patreon, inserts, some Baumkuchen things. Now this is back in 2019. This is 2019. Yeah, most of these are 2019, where I was spending, you know, $200 to $300 a month, and I had that disposable income in order to do that. Like when I looked at, this is where 2022 starts. When I look at 2019, just in those few months alone, it was a lot of money. But I'm never ever telling anybody, you know, that they should do what I'm doing, or what I'm doing is the only way to do things. I just do this for myself, so I can see where my money is going, and if that is where I want my money to go. Say you're a person that does want to spend less money, and you get, you know, you see someone like me or someone else unpackaging a tin or showing 3 sets of markers. Well, look at what's in one of those packs. Like this is the yellow and green tin. It's got a couple of highlighters. Like these are the highlighters. It has 2 gel pens of, you know, similar color. It has 2 brush pens. It has these dual tip pens, which have a brush and like a little fine tip, and then it has a fine liner. So go through your stash. You know, do you have any Tombow markers? Do you have any Tombow markers that are similar to these colors? See if you can coordinate with the items you have. A little pouch, and you don't have to put them in a pouch. You know, you can just, you know, put them in a little coffee cup on your desk, and set out, you know, a colorway and use it for a month. Like, I've been using these since I've gotten them. Like, this fine liner is almost out of ink, and I've used it over watercolor. I've been using this one to mark in here and other things, and I've used these in artwork. I've used them to decorate my planner. I've even put other pens and pencils in here. This has become the planner pouch that I throw in my bag when I'm going to rehearsals, when I'm going to teach. Just this basic little Rytec silicone faux leather zipper pouch. Nothing fancy. You don't even have to get one this fancy. You can get, you know, whatever you like, whatever fits in your budget. You know, I just happen to have a lot of these things, and I've purged a lot of stuff over the years. And I've only kept, you know, a few of the things that I like or that I want to use. And so, like, I have some, you know, some things that I think of. Like, number one is I sort through my supplies. If there's something that I'm, like, I want to buy, like I saw some really great watercolors over the weekend. I'm like, oh, those would be so fun. And I was like, wait a minute, John, you have all of the Zen Arts watercolors. You have the Mungyo palette. You have all of your St. Petersburg. You have the Rosa Galleria. I don't need watercolors. So the first thing I did is I looked at them and I saw the price, and I'm like, oh, that's $50 for those. And it would pull me away from using the watercolors I'm using right now that I'm really enjoying. I've used them in my, I just finished my October planner challenge of drawing pumpkin every day in October. And I've been using those watercolors. And if I was to get new watercolors, I'd stop using these, and I'm enjoying using these. And so I don't want to stop using them. So I didn't purchase those. I had seen someone using markers, and I've got these markers here and some other markers, like some Faber-Castell and Tombow that I haven't used in years. So instead of buying new ones, I pulled those out and did a couple of art things. Like, this is all Tombow and Faber-Castell markers. This here is Ohuhu and the Faber-Castell markers. Actually, that dark green is the Rytec, I think. That satisfied my need to play with markers, and I didn't need to buy anything, you know. So that's a few ways where I handle that fear of missing out, or that desire to get something new and shiny. You know, I make note, like I'll journal and I'll write, you know, like what supplies I've been using so I can see what I have, and then I pull them out like I did. And then something I've been doing recently is I've been like making my own stickers. Like, here's some that I made myself. I've got others in my planner. Where are they? I've been making my own, you know, fun printable Post-it notes. Like, these are stickers I made myself. I made my own washi tape. Those are some of my stickers. You know, I've been, you know, I think of what happened when I first started journaling in a traveler's notebook, and before that in a Moleskine, even before that, is, you know, there was a lot of creativity in people because, you know, there weren't a lot of stores that had lots of things. We didn't have lots of ways to get things here in the States from over in Asia. And if you did, it was expensive, and shipping was expensive, and shipping's becoming expensive again. And so for next year, I've designed, printed, and made my own calendars. It's something that I've been doing since the beginning. Like, here's it in pocket size. I've given them away. I've made them for people. I've had a Etsy store, which I don't anymore. You can get them as digital downloads on Patreon. You know, like, here's my 2022 calendar, you know, and the reason I designed my own calendars is at that time, it was hard to find the Traveler's Factory, because if you didn't get them at the right time, they sold out, or you'd have to spend a lot of money to get one. And so I just started making my own, and then some people wanted them, so I made them, but I've been making my own calendars since 2013, 2014, and I'm happy doing that. And, you know, like, I designed the covers so I can make it however I choose to. Like, that's a washi tape I designed, and I just printed it on sticker paper, so it's nothing fancy. Here's what it looks like. It's a week on a page, dot grid, you know, like the Midori, like there's a moleskin like that, like the Hobonichi weeks. You know, it's what I like, it's what I use. Make it yourself. You don't have to own this notebook or that notebook or this tin or this palette. Use what you have, use what you like, use what you can afford. It doesn't have to be anything expensive or fancy. This is like a cheap Muji pen. You get 10 for a couple of bucks. Or actually, it's not even a Muji. It's a fake Muji. You know, it looks like a Muji, but it's not a Muji. You know, use a big ballpoint pen. Heck, use the one you got at the hotel or the bank. You know, just do what you want to do. Don't do something that I do. Don't do something that another person does that doesn't align with who you are as a person. Just have fun. I don't know if this is where I wanted to go in this, but I just wanted to show you how much I spent. And I'm not doing it to say, look how good I am because I spent this much or spent below this amount. I'm just tracking it to see where my money goes. And when you look at, compared to, you know, previous years, it's a lot less. There's a couple of months, like 3608, like it's a lot more. And you know, that's okay. It is where it is. There's no shame. I just like to see where my money goes. And one of the reasons why I started doing this is I was helping my mother back in 2018 go through some of her boxes of stuff. Because they're getting older, and my dad has dementia, and she needed help going through some things. And so we were going through things, and my mom would keep these little, I think the brand was Mead, these little Mead spiral notebooks that are about the size of a field notes. You know, you get them in a pack of like 3 or 4 for a couple of bucks at the grocery store back in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. And she would mark down everything that they spent each month. And it was so she could see how they were spending, you know, their pay. You know, because my mom worked, my dad worked, and, you know, they had 3 kids. And they just wanted to see how their budget was going. Really, that's all they were doing, is they were budgeting. And so that's what made me decide, I think I want to do that. And so that's why I do this. Not to tell anybody else to do it, not to, none of that stuff. Just doing it because it's something that I want to do so I can see where my money goes. So there we are. That's all we have today. Take it take what you want to from what I said. I'm not putting anybody down for the way you spend your money. I'm not putting myself down. It's just, it's where I am, and I'm happy with where I am. And I know that there were times when I wasn't, you know, where I was using the spending there were things going on in life that I didn't feel I had control over, and it was something that I could control. And control, yes, and control, no. But, you know, I think if we all just take some time, breathe, have a cup of tea, a cup of coffee, whatever, and a soda, a glass of water, whatever your beverage of choice is, and just, you know, if we try to be a little bit more mindful in how we treat ourselves and how we treat others, that we don't go after other people for things that they are doing that are align with who they are and align with where they are, because everybody's in a different place, and nobody is better, nobody is worse. Everybody is where they are, and they're just trying to get to where they, you know, want to be. Okay, so I've rambled on long enough. Okay, thanks so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful Halloween if you celebrate. If you don't, I hope you have a wonderful Monday, and I will see you in my next video. Peace, love, and just let's have compassion for everybody, because things in this world are just so hard enough without everything else going on. Okay, I've said too much. I love you guys. Bye.